Last week, I ranked the top 10 LEGO Star Wars sets from Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, so working backwards this week, I'm going to go ahead and rank my top 10 LEGO Star Wars sets from Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Before I get into this list, I do want to say that I did include UCS sets, and when I was making this list, I left nostalgia completely out of the picture, so don't be too upset if your favorite set is not on this list. Also, if you're new, please consider subscribing, but hopping right into it with the honorable mentions. The first honorable mention I have, or I guess you could say the 13th spot, I have 75085 Hailfire Droid. Back in 2015, this was a great little set for only $20. It was the first and only actual LEGO set to include a Clone Lieutenant. The one prior to this came in a poly bag, and it was also the last LEGO Star Wars set as of now to include Super Battle Droids. And the Hailfire Droid is a really nice build with some large printed wheels, and as much as I love this set, sadly it just doesn't hold up to the other sets on this list. On to the next honorable mention, I have 75015 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. This was another great $20 set released back in 2013. There really are no flaws to point out in this set. It's a really solid build with an amazing minifigure lineup, including Jango Fett, which is always a loved minifigure, although in the end it is just a Corporate Alliance tank droid, so it's obviously not going to be as favorable as some of the other sets on this list, so that's why I kept it in the honorable mentions. And for the last honorable mention, I have 75016 Homing Spider Droid. Back in 2013, this was such a great set for $30. The Spider Droid build is pretty cool and pretty accurate. I feel like LEGO is pretty limited on what they can do with Spider Droids, and I really think they did their best here, and then they made a new one in 2016 and it was relatively exactly the same, so in a sense I think LEGO is very limited with Spider Droids, although the minifigures in this set is the reason I put it as the best honorable mention, mainly because of that Stas Ali minifigure. This is a great looking minifigure and the only time LEGO has ever made Stas Ali, and her along with the Clone Trooper and the two Super Battle Droids is why I put it at the best honorable mention. And now moving on to the official top 10, at the number 10 spot I have 7133 Bounty Hunter Pursuit. This set was released in April 2002 and then retired in December of 2003. It has 259 pieces and had an original retail price of $30, although if you want this set new today, you're going to be looking at paying a hefty price tag of around $400 to $500, and the reason for this is because it is the only LEGO Star Wars set ever made to include Zam Wesell. And as cool and impressive as this figure is, and definitely was for 2002, that is not the only reason I put it in the top 10. The Anakin and Obi-Wan minifigures are exclusive as well, and then the speeders themselves just look really cool. I think LEGO did an almost perfect job with the design and color of the speeders, making them basically as accurate as possible with the limitations they had back then, so that along with the amazing minifigure lineup is why I put it at the number 10 spot. Moving on to the number 9 spot, I have 4481 Hailfire Droid. This set was released on June 1st of 2003 and then retired on December 31st of the same year. It has 681 pieces and had an original retail price of only $50, and if you want this set new today, you're going to be looking at paying around $200 to $250, which honestly, if you ask me, is a pretty good deal considering this set is 20 years old. Also, I think this set is criminally underrated. In my eyes, it's almost like a forgotten about UCS set. Even though it is completely Technic, it basically is the UCS Hailfire Droid that we never got. And also, it's easily the best Hailfire Droid LEGO has ever made. That's not even a question. It's basically 100% accurate, and it just looks really cool on display. Everything from the missiles to the large wheels, it all just flows together so nicely. Although it doesn't include any minifigures because it was a Technic set, and if it did include minifigures, it would definitely be a little bit higher up on this list. And moving on to the number 8 spot, some of you might be a little disappointed that I didn't put this set higher up on this list, but I have 7163 Republic Gunship. This set was released in April of 2002 and then retired in December of 2003. It has 686 pieces and retailed for $90, which was actually a pretty overpriced set, especially for 2002. Although if you want this set new today, you're going to be looking at paying northwards of $1,000, anywhere from about $1,000 to $1,200. Now don't get me wrong, this is a very iconic set, as it is the very first LEGO Star Wars Republic Gunship ever made. Also, it comes with a lot of iconic minifigures, most notably being Jedi Bob, and then the two very nice looking blue Super Battle Droids, and then of course the classic Phase 1 Clone Troopers, which I absolutely love. Although like I said when I made this list, I tried to leave nostalgia out of the picture, and when you look at the actual build itself, it just does not hold up today at all. And the main problem with this is just in the shape. If you look at it directly on the side, it literally looks like someone stepped on it and it kind of got bent down a little bit. I don't know why the sloping from the back to the front is so gradual, because I'm pretty sure LEGO had the pieces at the time to make the shape of this more accurate, although for some reason they just made the slope so gradual and it kind of elongated it, as you can see here, and it just doesn't look near as good as the gunships we have today. So despite the amazing minifigure lineup, the build is a bit dated, and that is why I put it at the number 8 spot. Moving on to the number 7 spot, I have 4482 ATTE. This set was released on January 1st of 2003 and then retired on December 31st of 2004. It has 658 pieces and it retailed for $70, although if you want this set new today, you're going to be looking at paying anywhere from about $800 to $1,000. Now, it actually pains me that I had to put this set at the number 7 spot because I love this set so much, although it's in kind of the same situation that the gunship had. The minifigure lineup is so good, even though it's just 4 identical clone troopers. They just look so good in my opinion, and honestly, I could argue that the helmets on the older Phase 1 clone troopers look more accurate than the helmets on the newer Phase 1 clone troopers. Although again, the reason I had to put this set sort of towards the back of the list at the number 7 spot is just because the build is pretty dated. They really got the shape of the body down pretty good, although the main problem is the legs are just so short. It's a really short build overall. I mean, you can't even fit any minifigures underneath it, and it just doesn't hold up to any of the newer ATTEs that LEGO has made. Moving on to the number 6 spot, I have 7153 Jango Fett Slave 1. This set was released in April 2002 and then retired in December of 2003. It has 369 pieces and it retailed for $50 US, although if you want this set new sealed in the box today, you're going to be looking at paying around $1,000. Now, out of all of the original LEGO Star Wars Episode 2 sets that came out from 2002 to 2003, I think this one is by far the best. I'm sure that most of you guys know that this is the only time LEGO has ever made Jango Fett's version of the Slave 1 in the blue color scheme, and due to that, it has become very, very valuable over the years. And it was also the only LEGO Star Wars set to include Jango Fett in the classic Mandalorian helmet mold. And also the build is just really nice as well. Out of all of the original Episode 2 sets, this one was definitely the most accurate to its original source material, and that is why I put it at the number 6 spot. Moving on to the number 5 spot, I have 10215 Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. This set was released on November 1st of 2010 and retired on December 31st of 2011. It has 676 pieces and had an original retail price of $100, and if you want this set new sealed in the box today, you're going to be looking at paying around $400. Now, honestly, I think this set gets a lot of unnecessary negativity, and therefore I think it's pretty underrated. And although it doesn't come with any minifigures and it is one of the smallest UCS sets ever made, it is an absolutely amazing display piece. It is just such a sleek and impressive model, and that is why I think it definitely deserves the number 5 spot. On to the number 4 spot with back-to-back Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighters, I have 75191 Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive. This set was released on June 1st of 2017 and then retired in December of 2018. It has 825 pieces and had an original retail price of $100, and if you want this set new sealed in the box today, you're going to be looking at paying around $400 to $500. And the reason for that is because as of now, this is the last LEGO Star Wars set that has included Jango Fett, which is a little disappointing that LEGO doesn't give Jango Fett as much love as they do Boba Fett, because we literally get 2 or 3 sets with Boba Fett every single year. Although back to the Starfighter with Hyperdrive, like I said, it is one of the last times that LEGO made Jango Fett, and it also includes a really nice young Boba Fett minifigure, as well as a pretty rare Obi-Wan. And also the model itself is very unique and looks amazing on display. Like I said with the 2007 version of the Hyperdrive ring, this set is just very, very visually appealing, and it's definitely a significant upgrade from the 2007 version, even though that one was for a Jedi Interceptor. Overall, this was just a great set with an amazing build and an amazing minifigure lineup, and that is why I put it at the number 4 spot. Moving on to the number 3 spot, I have 75019 ATTE. This set was released on June 1st of 2013 and retired on December 31st of 2014. It has 794 pieces and had an original retail price of $90, and if you want this set new sealed in the box today, you're going to be looking at paying around $300 to $400. Now, obviously, this set was going to be high up on this list. This is overall just a very, very solid set and a very great ATTE model, and the minifigure lineup is amazing as well, although I wish it would have came with one more clone trooper, but regardless, the minifigure lineup is still great. You get an exclusive Mace Windu minifigure, as well as the famous Coleman Trevor minifigure, and then 2 of those cool dark orange battle droids, and honestly, I think the model definitely still holds up today. I would say it could definitely rival the 2022 model, although I do think the 2022 model has the upper hand just a little bit as the model is a little bit more accurate. But regardless, the 2013 ATTE is a classic and it deserves the number 3 spot. Now moving on to the top 2, at the number 2 spot, I have 75309 Republic Gunship. This set was released on August 1st of 2021 and is said to retire in December of this year, 2023. It has 3,292 pieces and had an original retail price of $350, although due to the LEGO price bump, it is now $400. Now I'm sure most of you guys know that this set was voted on by fans. A few years ago, LEGO did a poll where they had the Nebulon B, a TIE Bomber, and a Republic Gunship, and obviously the Republic Gunship won by a pretty large margin. And don't get me wrong, I think LEGO executed it very, very well. It is a very nice, oversized display piece. I mean, obviously it's going to be as accurate as you can get because it's a UCS set, although the minifigures weren't so great in my opinion. You got an exclusive Mace Windu minifigure, which was pretty cool, although the downside for me was that there was not an exclusive clone trooper included. I was expecting this set to have the very first LEGO Star Wars ARM printed clone trooper, but instead we just got got a pretty basic Clone Commander. Don't get me wrong, it's still a beautiful minifigure, I just don't think it's really up to UCS standards. Back to the model itself, again, I think it's an amazing display piece that is basically 100% accurate, although it is pretty oversized, so that lags for some playability and functionality, so that is why I had to give the number 1 spot to the 2013 Republic Gunship. 75021 Republic Gunship was released on June 1st of 2013 and retired on December 31st of 2014. It had 1,175 pieces and it retailed for $120. Although if you want this set new sealed in the box today, you're going to be looking at paying around $600 to $700. And honestly, in my mind, it was no doubt that this set was going to be the number 1 pick. It's easily the best Republic Gunship Legos ever made. The model is just so clean and sleek looking. It's also pretty much minifigure scale, which allows for a lot of playability and functionality, and that is why I put it over the UCS Gunship. And the minifigures are great as well, although the only downside is that it only includes 1 pilot. And honestly, I would have rather gotten 2 pilots rather than just 1 pilot and a clone captain. So it does look kind of weird to have to put the clone captain and the pilot in the 2 seats, when it would have been way better if it included 2 pilots. So really in my head, that kind of gives this set like a 99 out of 100. The model itself is pretty much flawless, and then the overall set, including the minifigures, is almost flawless as well. But anyways guys, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about this list down in the comments below, and if you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the end screen right now.